and welcome back to the Power Accountability League. This is part two of a video entitled Ignoring a Sign 72 Times. As I said in part one, I'm going to segment this because it's a very long video. And it's all about people either directly related to the Clinton family or tangentially related to the Clinton family and the way they died. There was some mysteriousness or some outright bizarre things going on in many of these deaths. Anyway, and in the first video, I only got to a few of those. We're on to, I think, number 4. So stay with me. I appreciate you coming back for this. And let's read a little bit more about people close or related to the Clinton family in one way or the other. Number 4, Ron Brown, Secretary of Commerce and former DNC chairman, reported to have died by impact in a plane crash. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. A pathologist close to the investigation reported that there was a hole in the top of Brown's skull resembling a gunshot wound. At the time of his death, Brown was being investigated and spoke publicly of his willingness to cut a deal with prosecutors. The rest of the people on the plane also died. A few days later, the air traffic controller committed suicide. Okay, well, we'll stop for a second and talk about this. Does that seem a little strange to you? The air traffic control. I don't know what the connection is. Was there radio communication between someone in the plane? I mean, between I don't know the pilots of the plane and the air traffic controller. I don't know. But again, I'll go back to what I said earlier. Ron Brown was an important person, a powerful person, a person who was very successful in life. And can you think of anyone right now in the Democrat Party who, if you had to guess, how they might react if they were implicated in a scandal? Can you think of anyone who's a Democrat who would take their own life after being implicated in a scandal? I mean, Schumer, Pelosi, AOC, the rest of the squad, Swalwell. No, you can't think of any Democrat who would, under any circumstances, would ever take their own life. Let's take. What about? Remember Ruth Bader Ginsburg? She was on the Supreme Court. She's a she's far left Democrat. She had cancer for the last 10, 20 years of her life. Had lots of problems with cancer, lots of suffering, pain. Did she take her own life to avoid the suffering? Did she step down from the Supreme Court? No. Why did Ruth Bader Ginsburg stay on the Supreme Court even though she was incredibly sick with cancer for the majority of the time she was on the court? She had some health issue, significant health issue. So why did she never quit? Why? And if it was cancer, why did she never avoid the pain by taking? I'll tell you why. Because Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like every Democrat, like every leftist, will do anything to hold on to power. They will never take their own life. They will never step down from power, not voluntarily. They won't do that. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg is the poster child for everyone on the left. She hung in there. She stayed in her position up to the very last day of her life. When you look at the Supreme Court, you can see a few people from the left or the center who've stepped down, but most of the people in the Supreme Court who step down voluntarily are either on the center or the right. They tend to be on the right. That is, people who you might call Republicans who are on the Supreme Court, they tend to eventually say, you know what, I've had enough of this, I'm going to retire. But you don't see that from the left, and you don't see it a whole lot from the center. But you definitely don't see it from the left. So let's get back to our list here of people. So here we go. Number 5, C. Victor Raiser II. Raiser, a major player in the Clinton fundraising organization, died in a private plane crash in July 1992. Again, I don't know. That's doesn't sound mysterious. I mean, plane crash, but so we're on number 5, and we're already up to 2 plane crashes. Number 6, Paul Tully, Democratic National. I like to call him Democrat. Democratic National Committee political director, found dead in a hotel room in Little Rock, September. That's Little Rock, Arkansas, for you folks. September 1992, described by Clinton as a dear friend and trusted advisor. Again, we don't know enough, do we? Number 7, Ed Wiley. Clinton fundraiser, found dead November 1993, deep in the woods in Virginia of a gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide. Ed Wiley died on the same day his wife Kathleen Wiley claimed Bill Clinton groped her in the Oval Office in the White House. Ed Wiley was involved in several Clinton fundraising events. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back here. Sorry, I got to move back and forth between screens. So again, we have another suicide. We're on number 7. How many plane crashes? How many suicides? Anyway, so again, we're going to go through the whole list, and you get to decide. Does this seem a little strange, a little out of the ordinary, something that you really wouldn't expect, something that's hard to explain using the accepted narrative that this is just all coincidence? Number 8, Jerry Parks, head of Clinton's gubernatorial security team in Little Rock, Arkansas, gunned down in his car at a deserted intersection outside Little Rock Parks. Outside Little Rock. Parks' son said his father was building a dossier on Clinton. He allegedly threatened to reveal this information. After he died, the files were mysteriously removed from his house. Number 9, James Bunch, died of a gunshot suicide. It was reported that he had a black book of people which contained names of influential people who visited prostitutes in Texas and Arkansas. Number 10, James Wilson, was found dead in May 1993 from an apparent hanging suicide. He was reported to have ties to Whitewater. You'll have to, by the way, you're probably going to hear a lot of esoteric information like the word Whitewater. You'll have to look that up yourself. You have to do some homework on this, because Whitewater, there was a Whitewater investigation with the Clinton family. It's all about money. It's all about connections. It's all about powerful people greasing the skids for other powerful people. But you'll have to look that up yourself. I'm not going to go into that in this video. But when you look it up, you'll learn some stuff. And, oops, hold on, another drink of water. My throat, you know how my throat is. Number 10, oh no, I'm sorry. Number 11, Kathy Ferguson, ex-wife of Arkansas trooper Denny Ferguson, was found dead in May 1994 in her living room with a gunshot to her head. It was ruled a suicide even though there were several packed suitcases, as if she were going somewhere. Danny Ferguson was a co-defendant along with Bill Clinton in the Paula Jones lawsuit. Kathy Ferguson was a possible corroborating witness for Paula Jones. Number 12. On June 12, 1994, Bill Shelton committed suicide. He was the fiancé of Kathy Ferguson, who also killed herself 1 month earlier, and who was connected to the Paula Jones sexual harassment lawsuit against then-President Clinton. Shelton was a Sherwood, Arkansas police officer who had been vociferous in his allegations his wife-to-be had not committed suicide and had in fact been murdered. Shelton was found sprawled across Ferguson's gravesite with an allegedly self-inflicted gunshot to the back of the head. Okay. Number 13, Gandhi Baugh. On January 8, 1994, Gandhi Baugh committed suicide. Later, attorney for Dan Lasater, who was a previous client of Hillary Clinton, as well as contributor to the Bill Clinton campaign, and according to Arkansas sources, was described as his partying companion. Lasater was a distributor of illegal drugs and also involved, represented by Baugh, in a case of alleged financial misconduct. Baugh unexpectedly threw himself out of a several-story building. Okay, I'm not happy with the grammar or the writing skills here, but still, these are interesting things for us to learn about, aren't they? So he threw himself out of a tall building, committed suicide that way. Number 14, Florence Martin, accountant and subcontractor for the CIA, was related to the Barry Seal, in quotation marks. He had the PIN to bank account of $1.46 million set up for Seal. Mena, Arkansas airport drug smuggling case. He died of 3 gunshot wounds. So I'll read that again. Accountant and subcontractor for the CIA was related to the Barry Mena, Arkansas airport drug smuggling case. He died of 3 gunshot wounds. So that was kind of complicated, but basically it's about money and connections and government work, I guess. Number 15, Suzanne Coleman. On February 15, 1977, Suzanne Coleman committed suicide. She is alleged to have had a sexual affair with Bill Clinton during the time he was Arkansas State Attorney General. Bill Clinton was very successful at a young age. Coleman was 7½ months pregnant at the time of her death when she shot herself in the back of the head. No autopsy was performed, and there is consequently no scientific proof the baby belonged to Bill Clinton. 16, Paula Grober, Clinton's speech interpreter for the deaf from 1978 until her death December 9, 1992. She died in a one-car accident. Number 17, Danny Casolaro. On August 10, 1991, Danny Casolaro committed suicide. He was an investigative journalist who had been working to uncover the leads of several then rumored Clinton scandals, including activities at the Mena Airport in Arkansas and Arkansas Development Finance Authority. Casolaro was found dead in his hotel room with both wrists open, though he had repeatedly informed his family and friends if he met such a fate, it would not be suicide. Number 18, Paul Wilcher, attorney investigating corruption at Mena Airport with Casolaro and the 1980 October surprise, was found dead on a toilet June 22, 1993 in his Washington, D.C. apartment. He wrote a 105-page letter report to then Attorney General Janet Reno describing knowledge of the Mena, Arkansas gun running and drug dealing activity. Number 19, John Parnell Walker. On August 15, 1993, John Walker committed suicide. He was an investigator for Resolution Trust Corporation into the Whitewater affair, and specifically the Morgan Guarantee scandal. Walker apparently jumped to his death from his apartment balcony. Number 20, Barbara Wise. Commerce Department staffer worked closely with Ron Brown and John Wang. Sorry, I mispronounced that. John Wang. Well, it's Huang. I'll let you pronounce it however you want. Cause of death unknown. Died November 26, 1996. Her bruised, naked body was found locked in her office at the Department of Commerce. That sounds pretty strange. Hard to understand or explain. Number 21, Charles Meissner, Assistant Secretary of Commerce, who gave John Huang, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, special security clearance. Died shortly thereafter in a small plane crash. Number 22, Dr. Stanley Hurd, chairman of the National Chiropractic Healthcare Advisory Committee, died with his attorney, Steve Dixon, in a small plane crash. Dr. Hurd, in addition to serving on Clinton's advisory council, personally treated Clinton's mother, stepfather, and brother. Number 22, Barry Seal, drug-running TWA pilot out of Mena, Arkansas. Death was no accident. Number 24, Johnny Law. They probably made it. Did they make a movie about him with that Barry Seal? I think it was. I think they made a movie about Barry Seal starring Tom Cruise. You can go to IMDb and look it up. Number 24, Johnny Lawhorn Jr., mechanic, found a check made out to Bill Clinton in the trunk of a car left at his repair shop. He was found dead after his car had hit a utility pole. Number 25, on June 24, 1994, Stanley Huggins may have committed suicide. Huggins was a principal lawyer in the firm of Huggins & Associates, located in Memphis. He was investigating the Morgan Guarantee scandal in relation to the Whitewater affair. Despite numerous requests from his wife, no hospital records were evidently released, having been sealed by order of Clinton Attorney General Janet Reno. During the same weekend as his death, Huggins' office was burglarized and his files with 300-page reports stolen. Number 26, Herschel Friday, attorney and Clinton fundraiser, died March 1st, 1994 when his plane exploded. Number 27, Kevin Ives and Don Henry, known as the Boys on the Track case. Reports say the boys may have stumbled upon the Mena, Arkansas airport drug operation, a controversial case. The initial report of death said due to falling asleep on railroad tracks. Later reports claimed the two boys had been slain before being placed on the tracks. Many linked to the case died before their testimony could come before a grand jury. Okay, the following persons had information on the Ives-Henry case. Number 28, Keith Coney, died when his motorcycle slammed into the back of a truck on July 1988. Number 29, Keith McMaskill, died stabbed 113 times November 1988. Number 30, Gregory Collins, died from a gunshot wound January 1989. Number 31, Jeff Rhodes, he was shot, mutilated, and found burned in a trash dump in April 1989. Number 32, James Milan, found decapitated. However, the coroner ruled his death was due to natural causes. That's interesting. Number 33, Richard Winters, a suspect in the Ives-Henry deaths. He was killed in a set-up robbery July 1989. The following Clinton bodyguards are also dead. Hold on, let's check and make sure we're still in our time frame. Okay, hold on for 1 second here. All right, this is the end of part 2. Catch me in part 3.